Hey, everybody, come on in the room, y'all. Come on in the room, everybody. Hey, Tiffany Jones, I don't know if you're still here. Hey, come on in the room. Hey, Mystery Man. Yes, you know I was over there in the bushes, baby. I said, look at Mystery Man. I know that's right. Hey, keep the subject on what they talking about, the men, not women. There's a time and place for everything. Hey, Sour Patch, my baby. Hey. We're going to talk about, this was what I was going to talk about yesterday, but we're going to talk about it today. Hey, Nina. Hey, everybody. There's a lot going on. Hey, Simply Made. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. Hey, everybody. Hey, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. Hey, 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 hey. Woo. Hey, 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 hey. Oh, hey, hey, big girl, how you doing, baby? Reese's babies is in the house. He's in the house. Hey, Pinky Pink. They mad, y'all. They mad. Hey, hey, Crafton Halls, how you doing, baby? Come on in the room. Come on in the room, y'all. Hey, Carrie Day, my baby, how you doing, babe? Good job. Good job. Hey, Mookie, welcome to the channel. They mad. Don't. They're mad, y'all. Don't. Hey. Hey, Kenya's Journey, how you doing, my baby? Crafton Halls, hey, Crafton Halls. Hey, my baby. Hey, 90s Flower Child. Don't. Hey. Oh, don't. Hey, don't. Yes. Hey, everybody. Hey. Hey, Vashti, my baby. How you doing? Hey. Hey, Tracy 3. Hi, my baby. How you doing? Hey, Gemini. Hey. Good job. Let's talk about it. Hey, Diamond baby. Hey, the mean girl. Hey, everybody. Woo. Come on in the room, child. Bounce. Hey. Good job. Hey, everybody. How are y'all doing? Y'all, last night was a night. I was trying to get my computer together. It would not act right. By that time, I wasn't feeling like everything was all together with what I had to say. I was watching last night. I'm gonna start from today, okay? So I was watching last night something, and it really got me on this topic. And I was gonna go live yesterday to talk about the Manosphere. Now, I wanted to talk about the Manosphere as far as what the actual Manosphere means, okay, versus what the men here on YouTube, how they categorize the manosphere that they're in, okay? And it kind of goes into context, I guess, everything that was being said about, the what do you call it, polite situation and all of this. And I really don't like to talk on it because I get really upset when people are backing nonsense and foolishness. I just get upset about it. But I'm going to put that to the side because I know everybody has their own belief on what should be protected and what shouldn't be protected. Okay? And I'm like, it goes both ways with everything. It's not, if you are a, I'm going to say, if you're a, how could I put it? P. If you're a P, you're a P. Put it that way. Hey Jessica, how you doing, my baby? If you're a P, you're a P. Hey Troy lover. Hey boo. So I'm just trying to get it understood. Like, it's just really, it's kind of like a double standard. And I'm like, no, if you are a P, you're a P, period. You know what I'm saying? It's just like such a thing as saying if you were a M, if you were a M and you got arrested for that or whatever, okay? To me, you would always be a M. You can repent and be forgiven, of course, but you'll always be a M because you did that act. That act was of your nature. Even if you served time, you still did that act. Okay. So that's where my situation is now. Now I was over there and I was listening to grown folks TV. And now normally I don't even go over there and listen because, I just don't want to hear ranting and screaming. That's my thing. Ranting and screaming, I don't want to hear. Okay. So I'm just like, whatever. So when I saw Nyla over there, I was like, okay, well, let's see what Nyla's talking about. So what Nyla's talking about, and I think it's her delivery that people don't get. Okay. But I think what she's trying to say is that, and I think why people get offended with her, everybody gets offended when you call people a name. When you categorize somebody in a stereotypical way, they don't like it. So when she's saying dusties, because it's the men that don't work, the men that don't want to pay child support, the men that don't want to step up and do the manly, be the manly man that they're supposed to be for their family, then that's where the problem come in. And that's probably where she gets a lot of backlash. Okay. And then I put on there, hey Corey, how you doing, babe? So I put on there, I said, what is really going on? Because I'm thinking in my mind, what is really going on? Because it's like okay, people want it, like Nyla was saying, she thinks it's wrong when people get into her personal life and they put everything online. I'm paraphrasing. People get into her personal life and they put everything online. And I'm like, no, because just for instance, like with anybody that's ever been on, social media or anything, you can say things that come back to bite you in the butt. Okay. What you did previously will always follow you into how you into where you are now in your present life. Why? Because people always want a scandal. They always want to hear about this famous person now. Where were they at before? Where were they at? Where are they going to be down the line? And are they living up to what they're saying and what in this particular moment? So she's wanting to wipe the slate clean, which is fine, but you first have to acknowledge what you've done, the wrongdoings. You have to acknowledge. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand. Like I'm trying to understand, but what she did say is that she said something and she kind of joked around about it. She said now to something about setting the record straight, and she goes that she knows that she does have one. So Nyla did admit that she has a record. Okay, that's all you needed to do. But see, by the way she's subliminally going around doing it, it's messed up because it's disingenuous. It makes people think that you're lying and you're covering up something. Thank you, Tracy 3. Thank you, baby. So Nyla, the fact is not that your record is your personal life. If you would address something, have you ever known publicists to come out and they will contact their whoever they have signed on, okay? And they will give them information and say, hey, this is what you need to do. You need to go in and you need to address X, Y, and Z, right? Okay, this is what they say. So it's like they know what they're telling them. They have to go in and they have to clean up what they've done. And not even clean it up. Sometimes you need to go and acknowledge what you've done. But when you try and say, oh, it's nobody's business and you're not going to answer it, then that's going to make people come against you. And I don't give a damn if it's men, women, or whatever. Now, I don't know why China White, does anybody know why China White was on there in her feelings and ratchet? I can't stand her. And the reason why China White is because you don't have women that accept you, because you hop in there Okay, you hop in there for these men. This is what you do. I've seen it, and I don't even know you. You hop in there rallying for these men attacking women, and so they think you're for them. Uh-huh. So then they have you on their panel, or they mod you up. That's what you do. You sneak your way in and you attack women. You've done that to me. I didn't even know you. But you see any type of competition and you want to get in there and you want to attack these men. And I'm like, are you okay? But see, you don't want on your pictures with five different shades, five different color shades. But you don't like this type of teacher. So she got up there with her ratchet talk and she steered the situation, the conversation to something else that wasn't even talked about. It was fine until she stepped up on that damn panel. And then she went on saying, I have about almost 80% men. I don't know why they watch me. Because you're chasing after them. Nobody, it wasn't about you. See what I'm saying? How people get up there about me, me, me. It shows that you're thirsty and you're insecure. Nobody cares how much you talk about Nylah behind the scenes or to Nylah behind the scenes. No one cares. But you got up there and you wanted to make it a point because you want to be noticed. See what I'm saying? She just looked thirsty and stupid. That's it. Okay, ain't nothing else. You didn't look any other type of way but thirsty and stupid. So she got up there and wrecked the whole panel, but they were trying to bring it back. I love the feminine foodie. She made the most sense. People were trying to belittle her in a certain way or whatever. And the thing is this, Nylah, when you're calling people dusties, just the same as you're calling people dusties, is the same thing that you could say that the feminist foodie was doing when she was saying, no, I don't have time for this. It's because she has a career. She's not saying she's better, but the difference, Nylah, is that when you are up there and you're saying, oh, well, I think she's categorizing herself as being in a sector. I don't know what sector she's in, but in a sector. So she's saying, well, in a sector, hey Nia, welcome to the channel, baby. Hey Darren, I seen you over there. Welcome, babes. It's like she's saying, well, in a sector, she goes, well, I'm doing the best out of everybody in the sector, so I must be doing something right. I'm like, and she goes, I must not be, I'm not that, what did she say? No, she's not that. Like she's categorizing herself as being better than everybody else now, which is what I got. And I'm like, why would you say that off of something somebody said in the comment section? Okay. But the truth is, Nylah, you got 7,000 on one channel and 40,000 on the next. Nobody's far, that's not far from anybody else. The only reason why you're getting more is because you're attached on to Cynthia G. That's it. I mean, I'm just saying that's it because she has a huge audience and you're going to get some of that backflow. And there's nothing wrong with that. We're all attached to larger YouTubers. We've all been watching larger YouTubers for years. I just don't use my attachment as a come up. I just don't. It is what it is. So I'm just saying, you when you're trying to act like you're better than people and then you want people to hear you, it's not going to work out because their judgment is going to be clouded by what you're trying to portray. So she's on there and she's doing the most. Hey, Sean McNary, welcome, baby. And I'm just like, what are you talking about? So Nylah, that would be your problem. So you finally admitted you have a record. It's your personal problem, personal business or whatever. Well, don't think it's going to go away because it's always going to be there. Okay. Hey, Debbie, how you doing? It's always going to be there. So I'm just saying. Now, the issue was they were talking, which was interesting because they were talking about the Cynthia G perspective. Okay. Now, the way Nylah put it is she see you're not without judgment. When you are calling people dusties and you don't like people, the men that don't work, the men that don't hold up and stand up for the household, the men that don't hold everything together, this, and that. Okay, well, what are you doing to contribute? There's always two, three sides to every story. What are you doing to contribute? See, and your relationship is not worth judgment. Because see, people want to put it to the side. Welcome to the channel, Monica. Welcome, babes. They want to put it to the side. How are you going to put your situation to the side when you're married to Taz? People see Taz out here in these streets banging for whatever he feel is right. Okay. And you're trying to say that you have picked the cream of the crop? No, no, no. It doesn't make any sense. Um, the women's sphere, what I know of, Jessica, is one person. Now, is there a particular sector that's called the woman's sphere? That's what I want to know. See, and another person here, Darren, said that they're not really married. So there's another situation, Nylah, where you're not addressing these issues when people saying you're not married. but yet you're over here trying to preach to people about dusties. Make that make sense. It doesn't. It does not make sense. I'm like, you're not making any sense. So you want this whole relationship thing, people to back you and everything, saying that you found the cream de la creme, okay? And people saying you were homeless. That was a fact. You're still lying, Nylah. That was a fact. You were homeless. Why are you lying still? I don't understand. And I'm not going to get into that because we already know. But the fact is that you're stopping your own blessings, I think, because if you were more open with people, you would get a lot more supporters. And China White, it doesn't matter if they're men or women. Are you okay? Are you out here running a race, China White, to try and see how many men that you can get subscribing to your channel? Now we see where you're at. You're the regular ratchet type of, I'm not gonna say baby mama, but the type of chick that you're telling people, she's talking about when she get on her channel and tell women to close their legs. Look, let me tell you something. You can't tell nobody to close their legs when you're chasing people down off on these streets. You can't tell nobody what to do. And you're the epitome of the person that you're talking about. Okay. Now you have sent your news to people on YouTube, and you trying to tell somebody when to keep their legs closed and keep them open. Are you kidding me? You're not qualified. Who are you? You're trash. You're the ones that go after these married men, okay? And then you want to talk about, oh, there's no good men left. Well, was you trying to seduce and entice? Get it together. They don't want to talk about that. Cookie did tell the truth. She popped you and you're upset. So you want to bring up people going to people's houses. No, that's not, it's far from that, China. It's far from that, because you would be that girl trying to come to somebody's house and that they wives going out the front door and you coming in the back door. That would be you. That would be you. So you're nothing. I don't even know why you were up there, to be honest. I really don't. But anyways, so I was like, okay. So everybody else was making some valid points. The only person that made really ridiculous sense was the China White. She came around and steered the conversation to herself because apparently that's what she does. She likes to ride the coattails of Nylah and whoever else. Okay. I see right through her type. I see right through it. She's not for any change or nothing. The other people may be for some change. And it's a lot of times we don't see ourselves in the situation we're in. So we're hating the situation we're in, but we're taking it out on other people. Okay. Nobody told Taz to lay down with them women and get 2 kids. Okay. Nobody told nobody else, hey, family of 6, my baby. Hey, Soap, my baby. Hey, Paulette. Nobody told them, hold on, the women's sphere is a, ooh, child. Ooh, child. Yeah, we'll get into that one another time, but that's, ooh. But the whole thing is, we see what's out there. I don't know why, like, Nylah don't want to be called a criminal. If you don't want to be called homeless and a criminal, then why are you calling these men dusty? See what I'm saying? Why are you calling these men dusty? It don't make any sense. But it is what it is. So I'm just saying, if you're going to be calling people names, be prepared for people to keep bringing up your past. Be prepared for people to keep saying stuff like you're not married because you're not addressing it and there's no record of it. You see what I'm saying? So if you nix that in the butt, you potentially could move on with your life, and either you will get subscribers, gain them, or you will lose them. Or maybe you'll stay the same. People won't care. But it is what it is. So you're going to have to keep addressing that. But anyway, so we have people over there, like I said, they're trying to preach, this and that. And Cynthia G, apparently what they're saying, I've only watched her a few times, so I'm really going to speak on what I've seen and hear from Nylah. Okay. So grown folks was talking about Cynthia G and how she, she preaches against the black man and this and that. Everything I've seen from Cynthia that I've watched so far says that she preaches against the black men. Okay. But yet she don't want to address her past aggressions. She don't want to do that, or transgressions, I should say. Not even sins, but she don't want to address the elephant in the room, which is the baby. Okay. She don't want to address the baby that she allegedly had. And I'm like, why would you not want to address it? People knew about it. You don't want to address it. There lies the problem with people saying she's hypocritical. People don't believe in closing doors. They think that time will heal everything, and it does not. It don't. I'm sorry, it does not heal everything. You have to address what's happened and what's still the elephant in the room. It ain't gonna ever go away. There's always going to be rumors. And the fact is that people want to say, oh, so and so is better than one person or the other. No, we can all do a channel, and we will do a channel based on what we like, our interest. Okay. It may not be my interest to say do a video or do a sector on, say, battered wife abuse or children's abuse, different things like that. It may not be, it's not my, it may not be of importance on my list of priorities as other things to preach about or talk about. So because it's not of importance and I can't really relate to it, I may do a couple of topics on it, but that's it. I'm not going to base my whole platform on it. So for Nylah to place her whole platform based on standing up for women, regardless, and warding off Dusties, okay, you're going to get a lot of aggression from everybody else. You're going to get a lot of flack. You're going to get docs. It's going to be, people are going to fight down to the barrel. You're going to get people threatening to RU like you got, okay? She's going to get that. It comes along with the territory. Sad to say, but it comes along with it. So I'm like, just buckle up, and you don't have no reason to lose your calm or lose your cool at all. I'm surprised she actually came up on the panel there, because if y'all know, she actually sided with Cynthia G when Cynthia G and Grown Folks went at it on her panel, and Grown Folks cussed out Cynthia G, and Nylah took the video down and she edited it because she knew that Nylah G was her friend, or Nylah was her friend, not Nylah, but Cynthia G was her friend, and she wanted to go ahead and have that, and she didn't want to have her portrayed in a bad light getting cussed out. So she took the video down and edited it. Remember that? So I see. So it's really interesting to me that we know where she stood on that. But what I think Grown Folks is trying to do is, you cannot change people's belief. Like he's trying to say, can't we just say some people? Because all the people, there's not a fix for it. There's not a fix. Men usually think of, how can I fix this situation? Women, we usually think of it from a nurturing point of view, okay? How are we going to, a more empathetic point of view usually? How are we going to get this information out? How are we going to do this? How are we going to do that? Grown Folks is, his mentality is, how are we going to fix it? There's no fix with that, because you see, the damage is done. I don't know. The damage came, I guess, when Nylah did not admit to what she's done in her past. Okay, which is the payday loan scams. Okay. She did not admit to it. When you don't admit to it, you're not gonna be fully aware and alert of what you're talking about, because you're always going to be trying to hide that. I think she's stopping her own self from progressing and moving on to other avenues. You address it, you own it, you move on. When it's brought up again, you know what people say? She's already talked about that. She's already admitted that. She don't have to say it again. Why would she have to repeat it again? She's already said it and addressed it. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense. So once you've done that, you move on. People will receive you a lot better. But we have Grown Folks on there. Grown Folks are saying, well, why don't you just say some of the men are like this? She don't want to say some of the men are like that. She's saying, and Cynthia G is saying, that y'all know, or y'all should know. Why? Because they really mean all men. That's what it is. They really do mean all men. So when we're hearing them say that, they mean it. Because if you don't mean it, you would clear it up and you would say, some men, it would not come out your mouth, oh, the Black men are like this. Oh, they're like this. Oh, they're like this. No, that would be no room for doubt. But they want to make it easy. They want to ease it in, and they don't want to get that backlash. So they say some. But we already know. So it's not a quick fix, Grown Folks. It's not, because they believe that all men, they really do. They believe that there's very few, okay, that will that they can categorize as being ideal men, that are not dusties, that are standing up for, upright men, standing up for their families, and being the ruler of the household, and this and that. Now I had to laugh because Nylah said she's retired, and I'm like, I'm 50, I'm retired. You're what? How old is she? How old is Nylah, y'all? 40, and she's retired? Really? Really? You're not retired. You're on YouTube. See, in one breath, she says, "Oh, you know what? I want to be. Are you putting down YouTube because there's people that make what, three figures or whatever. Okay, the six figures, sorry, six figures or whatever, or five figures. Okay, there's people in here that make that. Yeah, they do. But the fact is, Nylah, you said you're retired, so you're not putting yourself in that bracket. Okay, but my thought is you're still working. You have a YouTube channel. You still have content on there. This is work. So you're not really per se retired because YouTube is an income. You research. She said her and Chaz have read a lot of books or whatever. Okay, they've read, they've read upon things so that they can tell people. Not only is reading upon things making you knowledgeable, but actually living it makes people knowledgeable. Okay, just because somebody hasn't been in an abusive relationship does not mean that they don't relate to you, or they won't know where you're coming from, or they don't have any input on it. She's almost 50. Wow. So I'm just saying, hey Joe, welcome to the channel. So I'm just, hey Couture babe, welcome to the channel, baby. How you doing? I think I've seen you before. So I just don't understand. What are you retired from, Nylah? Are you just saying just because you're not working anymore, because you're a grown woman, that you're not retired? I mean, that you're retired, or what? Like, what are you retired from? I'm talking retired from working. I'm talking retired from working two jobs most of my life. That's what I'm talking. But when you say you're retired and people look at you like, what? And then we think of the history, it's like, come on now. You know what I'm saying? Wig scamming? Well, I don't know about that. Hey, AT2, how you doing, baby? Welcome. Ciao. I'm just like, what is going on? Oh, you gonna speak on it tomorrow, Couture, babe? Okay. Awesome, babe. So I'm just like, it doesn't make any sense, you guys. So we need to stop judging people as far as that's concerned. Nylah, you're gonna get that flack because you said your man don't want you to work and this and that. Okay. Well, if your man don't want you to work and you're out here scamming people, I don't give a damn if it was 30 years ago. It needs to be addressed because you're out here scamming folk. Hey, hey, how you doing, soul sister? Hey, my baby Cocoa Puff. People's gonna want you to address that, to say, why is this woman saying she's retired when she didn't run around and had all these charges because she's been doing payday loans and cash app loans? You see what I'm saying? It don't make no sense. So, I mean, you put out what you put out there is what you get back. Because you allowed yourself to be in close with these people and personal in your life, this is why people are believing these now people that are not your friends. Because of all, based on all the receipts. Now, your husband, he may be doing something now. He may be taking care of the household now. He may have several streams of income. That's not my concern. I'm not looking at what her husband does, but I'm saying he may be doing that or whatever. But I mean, don't put this image out like like you're one of the elite, and like he has some Fortune 500 Fortune 500 company, because he doesn't. We see what he's doing on here. I mean, he may have some other streams of income or whatever, but if it was all that, we would have all heard about it. Okay. Truth is, he's on YouTube just like you. Y'all are both working people in society. Stop. I have this problem with people trying to make it seem like they are higher than what they are. Just stop. Life is too short. We see it for what it is. Okay. No one's out there just bawling to be bawling. So stop trying to put down other YouTubers that are smaller, other YouTubers that are up and coming, this and that. Because truth is, you were doing panels long before anybody. She's always done panels. So why now are you saying you don't do panels? You don't hop up on panels? You do a lot of panels, Nylah. What are you talking about? See what I'm saying? It don't make no sense. Like, people should be worthy. I'm like, nobody needs to be worthy of anything. We see what you're doing. It is what it is. You're not going to say some people. You're assuming that everybody needs to think back and say, okay, well, some. She's meaning some. She don't mean all. No, she means all. And she said statistically. She said statistics do not lie. Show her the statistics about Black men. That's what she said. Meanwhile, she don't know that Black men that have not been lifted up by his family, that has been down, ridiculed and down by everybody maybe in his life. That they come on YouTube and they may hear a Cynthia G and think they don't have a chance with nobody else. They may think that. Why? Because you're over there beating them down. but it's not all Black men. People speak from a place of hurt, and they speak from a place of what's important in their life. And at this time, what's important in Cynthia G's life, apparently, is that, she wants to point out all of the downfalls of the Black men and how Black men have failed us, being Black women. And I'm like, I just wouldn't want to wake up day in and day out talking about that. It's not that significant for me. I mean, there's a lot more important things for me to talk about, but that's just me. And I guess that's what makes YouTube unique, is that she can talk about what she wants to talk about and everybody else can as well. But that's what makes the audience go, I guess go in a different way. Now she said, and I find it interesting too, because she did say that she used to always be pro the Black man, and she got so much hate and people were stalking her. The guy was stalking her or whatever. So now she preaches against the Black men because she was stalked. I think that all of this came into play. I really think all of this came into play with her own personal life. And that's what led her, because of, I believe, because she was stereotyped probably as somebody, and you know how people will categorize us as, oh, you think you're white or whatever. Okay. And maybe she had that type of stereotype around her. So she then wanted to be that way. She's like, okay, well, I'm going to cater to this audience. I'm not going to stand up for my Black people, because when I tried to, then they came against me and they stalked her and all this and all that. We get it. But that's the stance she's on, and I wish she would just stand in it. You know what I'm saying? I wish she would stand in it. Is that who she's talking about? Suge stalked her? Oh my God. So, anyways, so child, I'm just like, what is really happening? So Nylah, she puts herself and her husband outside of the Dusties, because Dusties to me can be a woman or a male. Dusties to me is people that's going stealing money that's not theirs, pretending that they have a status that they don't have. That is a dusty to me. So nobody's looking into your family saying, oh, how can my family have done this and my family did this and my family doesn't fit into this category? Well, that's good for you. As from what you see, they don't fit into that category. From what you see, its perception is everything. You may see them as being an honorable person, but do you know their background? No, you don't. Until they get famous or they get well known and they're doxxed or they get some enemies. That's how it works. So stop. People need to stop trying to make it seem like that they are living high on the hog and this and that. No, you're on YouTube. People make good money on YouTube. Don't sleep on it. And people need to stop making it seem like that it is damn welfare, because it's not. But just be true to yourself. Just be real. And I think when you're more real and relatable, people will respect her a lot more. I think she's on there and she's trying to protect Cynthia G. I don't know why. I guess because she's known her for 3 years now, I guess. And I'm like, girl, okay, come on now. So while she's over there running around trying to protest and this and that, it's smaller things that needed to be taken care of. Like she says to her, wearing wigs is not a topic. I get it. I caught your post. And it was direct shade. And that's why I addressed it. And always will. Because the problem lies with the stereotypes. Like you're stereotyping people to be dusties, not giving them a chance, each person their individual chance to be, to prove themselves in society. You're just saying, oh, well, the statistics prove that, the Black men are the highest to leave the household and blah, 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 blah. I'm just paraphrasing. But so we see that. And what do you think kids are going to see when they see that? Kids are going to think, well, you know how it is when people repeat stuff? It's repeated to a second time, a third time, and it's all twisted around. So kids are growing up probably listening to you in the background saying, oh, well, all Black men are dusties. And they're running off of that. That doesn't make any sense. But that's what you're doing. And then you're comparing and bringing see, Nylah, you're bringing your personal information in here, but you don't want other people bringing their personal information that they have on you out. But you're bringing your personal situation in here, talking about, well, Taz has two that are, in school, and you have two that are out of school, and one's going to school to be this and that. You're putting your personal business out there. You're bragging and boasting. But when people want to go in and bring something that's not so, praiseworthy, then you want to be like, well, why you got to bring in this? This is my personal. My personal has nothing to do with this. But you're bringing your personal life into it by gloating about your kids, your adult kids, and his, his smaller kids that he's paying child support for. You just said it on there. Oh, he's paying his child support. He should pay his child support. He should damn well pay his child support because he needs to learn that these kids have to be taken care of. Why should the system have to take care of them? And that's something that I am not going to change my viewpoint on. I will never change my viewpoint on them. I don't give a damn if I don't have any. Still, these men needs to raise their kids. So I am not on the team of, oh no, oh, the system is getting child support. The child support is for the system, not for the kids. No, you lay down, you will be responsible for who you lay down with and producing these babies. I'm sorry. It is what it is. Her kids have a strange relationship with her. I believe it. I believe they do. Because the main ones that get up here and talk about their kids is the main ones that ain't raised them. Okay? Chances are the grandparents raised them, the aunties, and everybody else. But they want to be on YouTube gloating about what they done did and the accomplishments of their children. Please. We see it all the time. Child, I'm just like, you don't want putting your personal life into it. You putting your personal life in here, and that's where the problem comes in. So moving right along. So the feminine foodie was saying how she has a career, she don't have time for this and all that. And then Nylah took offense to it, saying, well, wait a minute, you're talking down. Well, that's how they feel. Stop calling these men dusties. Same concept. Stop stereotyping. We in the Black community have so many stereotypes, and you don't like stereotypes, but then you do have them. Make it make sense. Anywho, so then moving right along. So grown folks were saying, can't we just say some? Can't we just, come to the realization that, we have our standpoint here, and we know what you're saying, but can't you just say it? I think it needs to be reiterated. She doesn't want to say it. She told you. She wants you to be able to decipher if you fit into that category or you don't. So she's not going to bend. She's not going to say some when she's over there talking with Nylah and whoever else, because she's meaning all people, all Black guys. That's what she's meaning. She's putting herself and her husband to the side because, see, they have rose from it. Okay, I guess they rose from it. She's saying. Okay, so she's has one of few out there that that stands with her and that is her king or whatever. Okay, you seen now. I didn't like the fact, grown folks, when that person went up there to talk, he released that person down from talking. What was that person's name? It was somebody, some man's name. He was up there to talk and he released him. That man was very respectful. Nylah got upset because she said he was a major troll. But the man was talking very respectful. And I don't release nobody unless they're totally off a wall here and they're just going in and talking over me. I'm really not going to release anybody. But the man was respectful because Nylah didn't like it and because she got upset. He was released. And I thought, wow, I would have loved to hear what he had to say. I would have loved it. He wasn't up there dragging, as long as he wasn't up there dragging her at the time, or her husband at the time, I would have been like, okay, what does he have to say? But already you were in your fifis. She was in her feelings, okay, and it was what it was. I'm like, girl, stop. But stuff like that is what really makes people get upset, because people just want her to acknowledge, the things that she's not, the obvious in the room, which she never does, and that's the problem. That's what I think is her problem. Now, you may be doing well, you know what I'm saying? But don't act like that you can't, in an instant, it can't be taken away, because we've all seen YouTube. People can be for you one minute and turn their back the next, period. And so I don't know why she's trying to make it seem like that she's all this and all that, when clearly we know otherwise. Okay, I don't care who you've attached yourself to, your past is your past. So, grown folks, I think that she will not ever be able to see it your way. Y'all will still be having the same discussion in 10 to 15 years from now, because she doesn't mean some, she means all. And she's leaving it to everybody to decide if they fit into her category, okay, of being a dusty. Okay. Now she claims she does have a huge majority, which this is the first I've heard of men on her channel. I don't believe it, but that's what she's claiming. Nor do I believe the China doll, or not China doll. Lord help me, my baby China doll. No, do I believe the China white. Okay, I just don't. She's an unknown of. She probably gets what 100 subscribers. I don't know, child. Okay, nor do I believe that one. The China white is just after not just, I guess, I don't know, just being noticed, being seen, I guess. I don't know. She's a whole hot mess, okay? Doing the most. No, they're following is women. Thank you, Couture Babe. See, I thought so. Hey, Vegas girl, my baby, how you doing? So I just was like, child, really? Come on now. And she's like, I'm not going to address some people. I just don't need to address some people. I don't. Well, the ones that you think that you shouldn't address, Nyla, or Cynthia G, are the ones you may need to address, because it only takes one video to go viral for somebody. One video. And when you want to address it, by then it may be too late. So stop trying to hide, and and just be yourself, be real. Now, grown folks said one thing. He did say when he's on other people's channel, he's on his best behavior. He don't do this, he don't do that. But what I do notice, grown folks, is this: when you on other people's platforms, you contradict yourself a lot than what you would do. You tend to agree with them more than how you would on your channel. I'm just saying. And for that, I'm kind of like, because you tend to, on your channel, like for instance, you were over here on my channel, you'll say one thing. Oh no, I like this and I like that, and oh, I see, and yeah, yeah. But then you go on your channel and just let have and be like, well, I really meant blah 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 blah. And I'm like, no, no, no. That's being flip-floppish. People take that as being indecisive. If I go on your panel, if I go on my baby's panel, Deirdre's panel, if I go on whoever panels that I go on, I don't even go on panels, but if I do, if I go on their panels, I'm going to be the same Tracy that I'm on my panel. Why? Because my justification and who I am and what I stand for does not determine whose platform I'm on and if I'm on my platform. My belief is my belief. If I go outside or come back in the house, my belief is going to be the same. Because your reputation and what you stand for will speak louder than anything else. You don't want to be known as a person that, oh, well, on Monday, she's all for everybody. She's all for loving everybody. And then on Wednesday, on Wednesdays, okay, she's like this. She's a little bit indecisive, and she's, biased and everything like that. No, I tend to be unbiased, and I'm working on that, but I will be unbiased everywhere I go. I will try to be unbiased everywhere I go. So we're not just saying what people like just to get away with the saying that you're going to be nice on their panel. You can be nice, but stand for what you believe in. Don't be fake. Because then that's when people start calling you out as being a flip flopper and being fake. See, because whatever I would say, if I had a Nylah on my panel or anybody else, I'm still going to be Tracy, and I'm still going to say what I'm going to say. That's why when people say that they know me, they know exactly what I would say in different situations. They know exactly what I would do in situations. Why? Because they've seen me be inconsistent everywhere I go, all on these panels that I used to hop on. Same thing, it doesn't change. So, child, I'm just like, what is really happening? So we have all this going on, and we have, Cynthia G over there, and you know, all the protesting. And then that brought me to say, okay, what are these men talking about? Because I seen the Kwame, when Kwame got arrested, he came back, child, and he was telling everybody, oh, it was the baby's mama. Oh, she's bitter. Oh, she's this, or do that. She's this. How did she get you arrested? Does anyone know how she got him arrested? He's talking about she would call and do welfare checks. We're familiar with those over here in the sector. We know. So he got arrested. He said baby mama called on him. Okay. Now I'm trying to figure out how, because I couldn't get to the whole point of it. I don't know how he, how that led to him being arrested. I don't know if he was, had some illegal things going on there. They smelt it. He got arrested. I don't know. But he said something about his 100-pound dog went charging outside. And I'm like, what? and they pepper sprayed the dog. I'm thinking you're lucky they didn't do more than just pepper spray. You're lucky they didn't pop out. If that dog lunged at anybody, any popo outside, baby, you're lucky he's still alive. So then you come on live, and I wonder if it was like because he was kind of laughing about it. I'm like, were you joking about it? Just to have comments? I don't know why he'd joke about it because he's a millionaire. But why would you still be owing child support? They said you only had to pay, what was it a month? Was it 3,000 or child? I don't know. But he owes so many thousands of dollars in child support. Why are you not caught up on your child support? And why are you on YouTube talking about it when you're a millionaire and complaining about it? But he can sit there and complain about, oh, she won't let me see the kids unless this, and she won't let me have my daughter. I have to do this and this to go to my daughter. You have millions of dollars. I'm sure you have an assistant. I'm sure that assistant can pick up your daughter at a neutral place, okay, and can deliver your daughter. Why do you have to deal with the mother per se? You can, yeah, I guess he can call her because the mother calls whenever the child is with him. The mother calls constantly to check on the child. He claims, and then when she calls, she can't get a hold of him. She calls the popo, allegedly. Like I said, there's three sides to every story. So why are you putting down this woman? And he's like, well, I did everything I could do. You know, I've been with her since I was younger, everybody. I did this and I tried to do this for her and I tried to do this for her. Okay. Yeah, you did. And what? You may have to do a little bit more. I mean, if that's the only thing that you have to worry about on top of everything else, you might be doing pretty good. But you worried about some other black woman coming and taking care of all this stuff that you claim that you earned by yourself. He said he worked hard for that stuff by himself. No, you didn't. You had a mate all those years. So she helped you to be the best man that you could be all these years. And now you talking about, oh, well, a person gonna have to bring this, and this to the table. That's good. But how far and few in between is going to be those people? Because nobody really in mainstream media is going to touch you being on social media, telling all and bearing all. They're not going to do it. Now, you may get somebody that's less fortunate than you and that doesn't have as much income as you, but you're still going to be thinking probably that you're above that person and what are they bringing to the table? To him, it's not going to be enough. It's not. And sad to say, what may happen is the inevitable. He may hook up with somebody else and that may be another trap to start all over again. You never know. But that can happen with any race, not just black women. So it's not to say, okay, well, I married this black woman. It worked successfully for how many years? People just grow apart or whatever reason. It is what it is. Don't blame the black women just because of it. It just didn't work out, period. And don't say that all women are out there to have the men and it's the system's fault and they want to have all the men arrested and no, 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 no. And it's all they fault because they got to pay the child support and that's not right. And think about it. X, Y, and Z. I remember this one guy. I used to think, and y'all, I used to think that same way. I used to think this women just want these child support. Why, the child support from these men. I was dating this guy. He was an engineer, and he his ex-wife, she took him to court or whatever. We went to court and everything. And she shows up, okay, and she was like she wanted more. He was paying her thousands of dollars. She wanted more because she went after his, what was it? She went after like his bonuses that he got for that year and something else that she got for that year. Oh, he had an increase in income. So she knew that. So she went after that. So she won. Of course, she won. And he had to pay her so many thousands of dollars per month for two kids now. That literally was enough to pay a whole nother house payment. But you think of it, they're only going to give you a percentage. You're going to get a percentage of what that person makes. Not mentioning when he would go get the kids, he'd take them to outings and stuff like that. So yes, it's sad, but it is that way. But somebody has to take care of the kids. At what point do people say, okay, well, I'm only going to give you this, and that should be how much that you are going to need for that child for the month? Nobody can say that, but they've made a system to where, they can pretty much give an approximate of what the kid is going to need. So I don't know, the ones that are complaining and whining all on YouTube about it. I'm like, you're just not owning up to your responsibilities. That's just all it is. And then if somebody don't want to listen to them or they won't want to be able to see their kids whenever, see, I believe this. You should be able to have visitation with your kids. Nobody needs to be keeping people's kids away from them. No, unless the courts deem it to be, them to be unfit or whatever. But if you're paying your child support, why should you not be able to spend time with your kids? It's ridiculous. I mean, because the kids are the only ones that's losing out. But it boils down to stop having babies. A lot of people stop having babies and thinking the men are going to stay with you. A baby will not keep a man. No more than the poom poom will keep a man, period. I just don't get it. Anywho, so that's what we're dealing with now. So when I was looking at Kwame, I was like, what is he talking about? I was like, Lord, please. I was like, okay, so you were with her. I get it. So do you want an excuse, what, to get on there and bash women or what? I don't understand the point. I don't. I really don't get it. I'm like, okay. And exactly. Some of them never petition the court for visitation. Exactly. So if you don't petition the court, hey Burger Bree, how you doing? If you don't petition the court, then why are you even sitting there complaining? Are you waiting for some miraculous court fairy to drop down out of the sky because you too lazy to go down there and fight for your children? You too lazy to go and file a petition with the court, but you want to sit there and whine about what X, Y, and Z is doing to you? And meanwhile, your kids are getting older and older. That doesn't make any sense. You will fight for what's yours. Period. And you will pray for the rest because it takes a lot to not be bitter. It will take a lot to not be bitter when you knowing that, say, what, 10% of your income or 20% is going to, your ex who probably you can't stand and the kids. It will take a lot to not be bitter. But what's not solving anything is getting on YouTube, yelling and fighting about it, and going crazy because of the system. Oh, the system has me doing this. Oh yeah, they're meant to do this. No, no, no. You had kids, period. You need to take care of them. It's not going to go away. Even when they're 18, it's not going to go away because they still are going to need you through college. Period. I'm so sick of people making excuses for that, y'all. Now, I was looking up because I was trying to figure out what some of these people believe in, y'all. And I was pulling up, guess what I pulled up? Manosphere, okay? And the definition of the manosphere is a collection of websites, blogs, and online forums that promote masculinity, strong opposition to feminism, okay? They have a strong opposition to feminism, meaning they are not going to sympathize with you with anything that women go through. They're not. What they're going to do, what I see that they're going to do is be on here arguing with women because they are opposed to it, okay? They have strong opposition to feminism and misogyny, okay? It says here, movements within the manosphere includes the men's rights movement, okay? This is all part of the manosphere. It includes the men's rights movement, incels, okay? Which is involuntary celibates, okay? Men going their own way. Remember, we talked about that. MGTOW, MGTOW. Remember, what's his name told me that he was not part of MGTOW. It was not the manosphere. He lied. Zills, remember that? He lied. Um, and pickup artists. Okay, pickup artists, PUA, and fathers' rights groups. Okay, these men, I believe, don't mind being taken care of. Okay, because they're not all for the women having rights, really. The women to them is secondary, and that's why they're on here arguing with women all the time. Exactly, Toya. How you doing, baby? Ciao. Mm-hmm. Hey, Nademeyer. Welcome to the channel, babes. So the Manosphere is a loose network of, okay, so it tells you right there what it is. It tells you here there's many books and stuff that go according to it and everything. Okay. Now they are not gonna be, they're gonna be all, most of these men, and I'm saying most of them, but I shouldn't say most of them. I'm not gonna say that. But some of these men, like I thought Kevin Samuels would be anti-polite. And he is. He is anti-polite. He's not co-signing to none of that. None of it. Now I looked up a guy. This is what brought me to the channel last night. I was in the Manosphere and I pulled up Rammel. Rammel's an interesting character. He's 24 years old. Hey Kiki, how you doing, baby? He's 24 years old. He was arrested for what do you call it? Trafficking. I'm gonna say for trafficking, okay, of a 14-year-old. Uh-huh. Yeah. He wasn't convicted, they said, but that's what he was arrested for. Okay. And he said that he had her making up to $1,000 a night for him. Exactly. Exactly, Toya. I didn't want to say that word. Yep. And he has no qualms about it. But he's on here mad at this woman, Yvette. I forgot her channel. I was looking up in it because she didn't fight hard enough. When this woman had called into Nylah's panel that her and Cynthia G had the other night, and she didn't fight hard enough on this woman that said that she was dating a 17-year-old, but she didn't know the kid was 17. And I'm like, how did you not know that child was 17? She claimed that she had been with this child for years with an entanglement, okay, for years. And she did not know. That's a damn lie. That is a damn lie. I don't believe it. You know, I'm sorry. Any grown woman knows, you know, when that child is 17. She claimed, oh, I met him, I met his, his family, and I didn't know, and blah, 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 blah. She didn't know. So she pretended to cry. I mean, well, she cried, put it that way. I'm like, girl, please. If the law says it's illegal, it's illegal. Okay. Now, Rambo was saying, I would have got right on the phone and called the popo, and I would have got all the information I needed. Excuse me? What? Now, what would y'all do in that situation? That's what I want to ask y'all. Because I was like, if somebody's telling you on the phone, you really don't have all their information, would you pry to get all the information to turn her in? Or would you just listen like they did? Because he's saying it's a double standard. And I'm kind of thinking it is a double standard because they were sympathizing with her. But he said that the Yvette lady didn't even come hard on her. She didn't go hard, but Yvette was saying she didn't go hard on him when he was accused of his, 14-year-old trafficking. She said she didn't even speak on it. And my thought is this, there goes your credibility, Yvette. Because why in the hell, if you knew that this man had did something to this, with this underage person, why the hell did you not speak out at that time? You just held yourself, so you chose him. You chose him at the time, the alleged oppressor at the time. Now, he wasn't convicted, but he did admit to doing that and making $1,000 a night off of her. So I'm like, interesting. So you did not. So now you want to speak up because now he's mad at you because you didn't come hard enough on this woman that did that to the 17-year-old. You see what I'm saying? So why are you compromising what you stand for a man? This is a typical thing. I'm telling y'all, people will lose their mind over some D. I don't know why they're losing their mind over the D. I don't get it. And it's not the fact that they may not have seen nor touched the D, but they lose their mind over some D. It's just the fact that it's some D involved and they go inside that way when you knew good and damn well what the man was doing. Now you out here looking like a complete fool. And I think you meant to exploit him, but you looking like a complete fool. I don't get it. Exactly, Tracy 3. You know it. It don't make no sense. And I was like, she on here like a fool. He's on here mad at her because he only sees it his way. Okay. He only sees it his way. And I'm like, okay, she can be on there crying now. But then she said years later, she got into an entanglement with his brother. And I'm like, what? This is crazy. Now she had almost 2,000 in her chat. Nylah did. Okay. Now that was based on the fact that she had Cynthia G on there. Trust. See, Nylah, see, people forget where they came from. So she had almost 2,000 in her chat. Okay. And I'm just like, I'm like, okay. But I'm like, this woman called in to convict herself because, and then she wanted some counseling with Nylah right after. So Nylah gave her her phone number. Really? That's strange. Very strange, y'all. Very strange. She said she was 22 and he told her she was 17. He told her he was 21. Yeah, exactly, Nina. So I'm just like, what at what point do people realize, okay, it's still a crime. One doesn't make one better, one more better than the other. Period. It doesn't. So I see what Rama was saying in a sense. But Rama was all emotional like a female. He was yelling. He was throwing a whole tantrum. And I'm like, is he okay? So is this how the Manosphere people are over here? I want to know, y'all. Is that how the Manosphere people are over here? Because he's the only one I've seen from the Manosphere so far. Hey, Faith, how you doing, baby? He's the only one I've seen from the Manosphere over here. And I'm like, is that how they act? Toya said yes. Paulette said, I want no parts of them, period. I hear you, babe. I'm just like, what the hell is going on here? I'm like, why is he really getting mad at this woman? And she's over there professing her innocence and all choked up. And, well, let me tell this about you. She posted the man's mugshot. I'm like, oh, child. So, Rambo, now you done made this chick, Yvette, okay, upset. And she done posted your damn mugshot as a thumbnail. Are you okay? Huh? No. No, no, no. She wasn't dating him prior to being 17. She was dating him when he's 17. Now, I know in some states, if they are what is it, 17 and below, it's considered minors. But and there's no statute of limitation, is what Ramit was saying. Okay. So Ramit was saying there's no statute of limitation on this. So she should have done, they should have been trying, they should be trying to report her and all this. I'm like, what? So this has been years ago. But I'm thinking if it was illegal at that time. But you got to prove it from back then. That's the whole thing. So maybe they said, well, it was back then. So why should I get involved? She just called into a show. I can see that too. But still, it was illegal, It's crazy. Exactly. They can get to thank you. Exactly. So you watch the woman sphere, not the woman, the one. Okay. You're not talking about the woman though, right, Toya? Not the woman sphere, but the sector of the woman sphere. Who is considered the sector of the woman sphere? Is Cynthia G considered the woman sphere? And Nylah? I need to understand that so we can break that down. Let's see. Faith said, I think the age 15 or 16 for the age of consent, and his child was 14 and being made. Thank you. And so he's trying to justify it. In my opinion, he's trying to justify polite. Rammel is, in my opinion. That's the difference. He's trying to justify because he's saying, oh, well, he was already, with the 14, the one doing his trafficking, whatever. Okay. So he's all like, well, where is it? Where is the anger? Where's the anger coming from? Where's this? I'm like, then you have Nature Boy. And that kind of got me upset the other night because I get upset about stuff, but I let some things go. But I'm like, no. And he's saying, well, as soon as a woman has her, let me put it in the chat, that she's ready and she's ready for adulthood. No, she's not. She's not ready for adulthood at 14. Stop it. Stop it. And as soon as she has that, she is not ready for, as soon as she has that, she is not ready to get busy like that. No, she's not. She's not mentally equipped, not physically or nothing. She's just getting to know her own body. Come on now. Makes no sense. Toya said, I watch her in the sector. This is also Paris Milan. Okay, Paris Milan. Okay, yes. I watched her a while back when I first came on. Yanni Real Talk. Okay, I am Elo. Okay. And then there's Cynthia, Black Woman Sphere. Okay. And Nylah. Okay, babe. Okay, got you. Got you. Okay. So they're all part of the woman sphere. Okay. So I didn't know that. That's a good point. So this is what Toya says is that Paris Milan, Yanni Real Talk, and I am ELHO. Okay. And Cynthia G, Black Woman Sphere, and Nylah are all the woman sphere. Okay, they all categorize the woman sphere in the sector. Now, can somebody name the men that categorize the manosphere in the sector? The men, we have that Ramel person, which I don't know his last name. My niece started at 9, nowhere. Exactly. At 9 years old. Thank you, Faith. Ain't nobody. I had a friend that started at 9. Child was like, what? And she got pregnant. I remember we were in, was it 5th grade? No, we were in, wait, 4th? We were in 4th grade, I think, and she got pregnant. She was 10. Do you know, to this day, I think she has 7 or 8 kids? I came back to San Antonio. I was like, oh my God. I was like, I just couldn't believe it. I was like, wow. Exactly, Nate Meyer. It's very disgusting. Thank you. It's not developed at 14. It's not. It's disgusting. It is what it is. It's disgusting. So I don't give any, there's nothing that I give. I don't give any making up for it or nothing. No, they are not ready. There's a reason why laws are in place. And people, they just want to justify their own sickness, and that's them, because ain't nobody going. We're not going with that, okay? No one's going. So who is a part of the manosphere here, y'all? Was Tommy ever a part of the manosphere? He seemed like he'd be a part of it. Exactly. Exactly, Nate Meyer. Toya said the incel crew. The incel crew, okay, is O'Shea Duke Jackson, Angry Man, Kitten Hills Samuels. Why do they call that man Kitten Hills? Y'all are crazy. Kitten Hills Samuels. And then the positive guys are Abba and Preach. The attorney guy are just a few. Thank you, Toya. See, I'm learning today, y'all. We learn and teach. Teach, baby, teach. So Tommy is a part of the manosphere. Wow. And within the manosphere, there's different groups. There's the incel group, you're saying, and the positive guys. Now, I don't hear much about the positive guys. I don't know why. But the incel crew we hear about, okay? Child, that is funny. These names, child, I am dying. That is funny as hell. But we got to talk about it because, y'all, I mean, ultimately, we can talk about stupid stuff over here and there and all this other stuff about wigs and stuff. We've already talked about all that. Then we need to move on, to other stuff. And I'm like, as I was looking into this, I'm like, why are these people standing up for this damn man? I don't understand it. For what? Now, which group, Toya, let me ask you, which groups are siding with polite? Which groups are siding with polite? Because we all know there's some that side with him. And I'm like, how can you side with this man? It's because either you're going to be for the law or you're against the law. I don't understand it. And those usually are the ones, I think, that are saying that everybody's against them and it's because they're black and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh, Lord. But I'm not siding with foolishness. It's a damn shame. I don't give a damn. And then they were saying polite got with his wife when she was only 19. No, wait, she was 16. I was like, and Just because he got with his wife when she was 16 does not mean it's legal. If your mama gave you permission, does not mean if it's legal. But I believe the law says if you're married, that makes it legal. Am I wrong? Like if your parents give you permission to get married to that person and they're 16, then it is legal at that point. The conscious community, Nademeyer said, is siding with. Okay, is siding with him. Wow, is siding with Polite. Wow. Hey, Muffy, how you doing, baby? It's sad to hear this because the women that actually started Black Women's Sphere or Black Women's Empowerment are completely forgotten. Really? Wow. Is that where like people like QI come from? Is she part of the women's sphere? I don't know what they're supposed to be conscious about, Chore Lover. Toya said, I heard Tommy is but I stay away from that. The channels I have are all the ones who are against. Okay, okay, good. So the channel they're all against. So even the men, okay, so some of the men then are against. Okay, are against it. Okay, good. Wow. Now they said there's one that's for it. Now the guy that's for it, isn't that the one? What is his name? Sign. What is his name? Sinetta. Sinetta. Isn't Sinetta backing Polite? So all the ones she named off there, y'all, are all against Polite because we don't want to. We're against any type of. That's just disgusting to me. Polite's teenage wife was from Dr. York's camp. Oh my God. Are you serious? Oh my God. Child. Nina said they're not even mentioned anymore. The people that started the women's empowerment. So that's what it was called before. Before it became Women's Sphere, it was called Women's Empowerment. Wow. Child. I'm just understanding him, Tracy 3. I'm just understanding him too. Sonnetter. Yeah, Sonnetter. Uh-huh. Nehemiah said Sonnetter. Mm-hmm. I heard he's going back and forth. Child, I don't know what's to go back and forth with because either it's see, that's what I'm saying. Either the only reason why you would be going back and forth is if something if they don't want to state their stance. It's either illegal or it's not. You're either for it or you're not. That's it. There's no in between. So I don't know why he's teeter sawing and teeter totting back and forth for. Dr. York is in jail for 135 years. Heard the R hundreds. Oh, he R'd hundreds of boys and girls. Oh my God. Are you serious? That is so crazy, y'all. Hold on. Let me Google this. Who is Dr. York? Child. Good child. Child. We finna find out right now. Okay. Okay, who is Dr. York? Convicted cult leader. He was a cult leader. Oh, he's 76? No way. Dwight York? Hold on, no, that's the wrong one. Hold on. Okay, Dr. Malachi Z. York. Yeah, okay. Dr. Malachi Z. York is his name, okay? And let's read the story here. Oh, he looks crazy. Ooh, child. Hold on, I'm pulling it up, y'all. Ooh, child. Oh, he was with the Moors? I didn't know that. Hold on. Okay. I'm trying to pull up a more convenient one. Hold on, news article. Hold on. Of course, they got a lot of them, but I'm trying to pull up the most, some that were like the most recent. Let me see. Okay. He's a convicted child. I'm not going to say the rest. Okay. And what it said here was that United Nations, Nubian Moors, a religious ministry that has existed in some form since 1960s. Okay. It says York Eddie Alil is an American criminal, musician, and writer who is known as the founding leader of various religious political groups, including most notably the United Nation of Nawabian Moors, okay, which was a religious ministry that has existed for some time since the 1960s. He's a convicted blank M, okay, Dr. Malachi Z. York. hmm Okay, he's being held in the federal maximum security prison in Florence, Colorado since 2018. He was convicted and he was being sued for $2 billion in lawsuits. Okay. He's now 76 years of age. He was born on June 26, 1945. He was born Malachi York, okay? And Dwight York was his place of birth. Okay, Dwight York. His place of birth was Boston, Massachusetts. Okay, and in early 2004, it says York was convicted in federal court by a jury of multiple RICO and Child M charges and financial reporting charges. He was sentenced to 135 years in prison. His case was appealed to the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals, which upheld the convictions on October 27th of 2005. Okay, he was let's see, he filed a 2 billion, that's what he filed, a $2 billion lawsuit. Okay. Hold on, let me go back. And that was back in, let's see here. Child, he will most likely, y'all, by the time this man, I mean, it's not even worth it for all that. You know what I'm saying? Now it says the man charged within the blank abuse is a son of a black supremacist cult leader serving 135. Okay, so he had a son, and the son went to court in New Jersey in 2017 on the charges that he burned and beat oh my God, a 5-year-old in his care. Child, I can't, okay? I cannot, okay? So his son at the time was 19. He was arrested on March 10th, I guess, of 2017. He beat the son of his girlfriend with a belt and left whipping marks, as well as burning the boy's body with hot water and locked him in the bathroom overnight multiple times. A number of sources have identified Richardson as the son of Dwight D. York, 71. Okay, so his son Richardson was convicted. He might be out by now. Let me see. The Southern Poverty Law Center, a hate extremist group watchdog, says the Nawabian movement mixes Black supremacist ideas with worship of the Egyptians and their pyramids. A belief in UFOs, oh my God, a belief in UFOs and various conspiracies related to the Illuminati and the Bilderbergs. Child. And they believe, this is what they believe that white people are the devil. Uh-huh. They say the Nubians are not racist bullcrap. They believe that this is kind of what Nature Boy says, some of this rhetoric that white people are devils. Uh-huh. That's kind of what, yeah, that's the teaching of what they believe in. So they said it's probably one of the wackiest groups we have listed as a hate group. I believe it. You know why? Because they're smoking all type of hallucinogens and they're mixed with and laced with different things. And then they wonder why they come up with all these conspiracy theories because you have all the time to sit there and think about entering into one world versus another world versus being in a parallel universe. And then somehow, after being at the ultimate highest level of your hallucinations, you come up with this mess and you believe it. That's what it is. That's what it is. Child, please. Okay. They had a compound outside of Atlanta, Georgia, and they actually built pyramids there. Oh, Lord. On his Facebook page, Prince York describes himself as one of the most inspirational public figures in our community. Child, please. Okay, what community? Son of the great Dr. Malachi Z. York, who is currently doing 135 years in prison for false charges and legal holding done by the state of Georgia. A call to Richardson today was not immediately returned. When Richardson appeared in court in Jersey City, his attorney said he had no comment on the charges. The extent of Richardson's, which is his son's, connection to the movement is not clear, but he appears in a number of YouTube videos discussing his father's case. The mother of the 5-year-old was also charged. In court, it said that the boy is now in California. Wow. Dwight York was arrested in 1964 on charges oh my God, he had relations with a 13-year-old girl and he received probation. A year later, he was then charged with possession of a deadly weapon, assault, and resisting arrest, and served 3 years in prison. The group number swells to 500 people living in various apartments, apartments, I'm sorry, York owned in the Bushwick section of Brooklyn. See, that's why, see, this is a Brooklyn thing. Now I get it. Now I get, because y'all, most of the people, I'm not saying all, but most of the people that I meet from Brooklyn, they have the same belief for whatever reason. I don't know why, but that's what they have. In 2000, York moved to the group to rural Georgia, but he was arrested in 2002 and later pled guilty to various state charges, including 40 counts of aggravated CM, I'm gonna say that, and 34 counts of child M. Wow. He also pleaded guilty to unlawful transport of minors for the purpose of engaging in acts, some say just acts, and attempting to evade financial requirements. Child, both in federal court. When Dwight York went to prison, it was a very serious blow to the group, and the number of chapters we were listing fell precipitously. Child. On his Facebook page, Richardson describes the Nubian nation as promoting knowledge of self, nation building for our people, and unifying once a nation is formed with other African nations. Child, please. The Southern Poverty Law Center sees the group's leaders in a different way. Dwight York was a serious cult leader. He had thousands of people hanging on his frankly bizarre message. And in his case, he was able to get away with the abuse of minors for a long time. Cult leaders often get caught up in S abuse. I'm not going to say what, but S abuse, scandals, etc. I'm sure it has a lot to do with having total control. Of course, they have to have control. It's all about control and ego. That's what it is, control and ego. And the fact is that you cannot abuse people the way people used to do. You know how when we used to get whoopings and stuff like that? You can't do that now. Hey, Sly Jones, how you doing, baby? You can't do that now to people because you will end up behind a clink. Exactly. I wouldn't either, Crossing Halls. See, thank you. This is why I say, Nina, yes, no wonder why it's not too so odd for the women to share and share a man, if they believe all this. Thank you. Because they believe, see, that's why I said it's not so hard because they believe that the man is the head of everything. And I'm like, come on now. You have to have some common sense. But they don't because they really believe that, whatever the man says goes, and that's it. And that women are secondary. And that's what I believe. That's what they believe in. And that's where it was founded over there in Brooklyn. All of this crap, because some of that rhetoric is what Nature Boy preaches on. And y'all know I find nature more entertaining, but he believes all of this rhetoric. It's like, it's really weird. But I would like to hear what y'all have to say on the matter. Hit the link. Whoever has anything to say about it. I just, for the ones that just came in, we're talking about the Manosphere, okay? And the Manosphere belief, and we're talking about also the Nylah Says, Cynthia G belief. That's what we're speaking on. Misogyny and, yep, exactly, Toya. That's it right there. That's what it is. And it's like, hell no. That's really what that particular group, that's what that particular group is all about. Out of Brooklyn, yep. Misogyny and the PETA, yeah. And I'm not for all of that. Forget that. It's too much. And I know people have been talking about it, but I was like, we need to talk about it because really, it's just disgusting. One thing I hate is a man to be whining like a damn female. I can't stand that. And to try and make me believe that I have to, that we have to dumb down ourselves, or that you're, higher than just because you're a male. No, you're not. If you're talking mess, you're talking mess, regardless. Nobody gets a pass just because you're a male. I'm sorry, it ain't happening. Bloop. Sly Jones, Kendra has hit again. I'm sure you've seen my video, boo. Okay. I said, Lord, what is going on, child? What's going on? Does anybody have any comment on the whole situation and what's going on? Some words we're not saying, y'all. We're not saying like the P word or whatever. We're not. Modest said, hi, Tracy. Hey, Modest. I've never trusted the so-called conscious community. Yeah, I wouldn't either. I don't, from what I hear about them, it's not so good. And if it's anything like Sodnair, what is it, Sodnair and polite, I can't. Or Sodnair and polite, hell no. Chore Lover, what about Miss O? You said Miss O, what about her? Child. Dr. York was about 2 hours from where I live. Oh, child, He was something else, child. But what was the one that was with, wait, what was the one that was with him? Who was the one that was with Neytiri? Wasn't she with Dr. York? Or was that the son? Hey Nina, how you doing, babes?
I'm doing okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So hi everybody. So basically I've been listening to you and I really wasn't going to comment, and my dog is running around, so am I. But I felt like I had to come up here and talk about the women that started Black and women's empowerment, right? Because
Okay.
they're not being mentioned at all. So basically, the new women, the Cynthia G's, the Nylah Says, which are like bottom tier women's sphere, and then you've got the Paris Milans, the Chrissy's, the what's it called? The I Am Elohos, Yanni, whatever, which are better, like top tier versus bottom tier. But the women that really started this stuff, these women started, I don't know, the end of 2000 to like let's say 2010. 2010, 2011, on Twitter, on doing blogs, Facebook, whatever. And it was a response to what was going on in the Black community, right? Like what was going on to phenotypically African presenting Black women in the community, right? Like they started to see that they were, how the rap industry had changed the image of the Black woman, and how Black women were being devalued. So these women were like, we're going to have to give Black women options, or we're at least going to have to speak about it after the Black love movement of the 1990s and the 2000s, right? So
Uh-huh.
people like somebody called Khadija Nassif. She has a book. It's called The Sojourner's Passport. um, she outlines what the pathologies are, just like the conscious movement has, you know, um, per- just, you know, you see what's going on with the multiple women and the this, or the manosphere putting down Black women. So these women were like, okay, or and then there's another book called Is Marriage for White People, saying that Black women were the least to get married. So basically, they're seeing the problem and they're starting to get together in this think tank of like, we need to divest from the Black community. And so on. So then after that, there was a Crystalline Karazhan. You've heard of her, I'm sure.
Right. Uh-huh.
Right. She kind of put her face to this movement, right? Like all the other women kind of hid their identities because they were afraid of what was. And she wrote a book called Swirling, and she, you know, she promoted divestment and swirling, which is complete, which is what I don't have any personal feelings on that. It's just another option for Black women who are, you know, being the really the victims of what's going on in the community. So, and then there was
Tanya
another person.
TKO. I'm sorry, they said Tanya TKO is also part of the women's sphere. Okay, go
Right.
ahead.
These are the new lead. These are the. I'm not looking at the chat. Sorry, but these are the new leaders of the woman sphere. And I'm kind of going back to the Black women empowerment. You know, Black woman
Uh-huh.
empowerment. The women that they took all this information from. By the way, they never credit them. It's like they don't mention them. It's like they
Wow.
stole their intellectual property and they're making money out of it now. And nobody knows who
Wow.
these women are. Kendall St. Charles is another one
Yes.
who, you know, they and basically what they've done to these two particular women on YouTube
Mhm.
is doxed them, swatted them, took their ideas, cannibalized them, and now they're left to be the queens of this bastardized version of whatever these Black women came up with. You know, and
Wow.
at that time the women that came up with this were older women, experienced women, educated women, you know,
Uh-huh.
who thought through these ideas. And now just random people have taken these ideas and they're making it like evil. This was supposed to be helping Black women, giving Black women options, but now it's just fighting the manosphere. I feel like Cynthia G, she's just the other side of the coin from the manosphere. So all she
Yeah.
does is just scream at them. They scream at her. She calls them dusties. They call Black women H's and hoes.
Bees.
And
Yep.
yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
basically it was the start of the movement was supposed to be to help Black women. Even the Paris Milans, you know, they're that she's a bit better, but I she doesn't give credit either. They don't give credit to the foremothers that started this movement to really help Black women. And Nylah Says is like the I'm sorry, I mean, she's basic
I'm
like
laughing
she's
because I'm like, what is she talking about? Like, she's all over the place. I mean, she's probably like me that just began, we're just coming in on it. But I'm like, she is just the epitome of just no. Like, she takes one portion of it and she's like going all around and making it to be what she wants to give in her life. And I don't want to give my personal life, but yet you do. It doesn't make any sense. You don't control all that.
no,
She's a
these people are just using this information for money. They don't really believe in the theory, or they don't really, you know, their hearts are not in the divestment and the giving Black women options and whatever. This most of these women that came up with these ideas, they didn't make money for years, right? Like they didn't make money for years. And then not only that, the woman sphere now are the women that tortured them, that were pro-Black and pro-Black love and pro-Black man for
Oh,
years. And
interesting. Look, Sly John said, long live Kevin Samuels and Pastor Gino Jenkins, repping for the men. Yeah, I said it. Okay. So those are the ones that you support, Sly Jones, Kevin Samuels, and Pastor Gino Jenkins. What is their belief that you really agree with, that resonates with you? Go ahead, Nina. I'm sorry. I'll just be reading while
Oh
you're
no, 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 no.
talking.
That's it. That's pretty much it. I just wanted to say her name, Khadija Nasif. Say her name. You know, like
Khadija
Halima.
Nasi.
You know, these women that really came up with these ideas that these new women are just basically taking over, not giving any credit, and just going and I don't know, like they're just making money off of it. They don't care anything about Black women. Nothing. So
Okay.
yeah, so that's all I had to say. I hope I
Thank
wasn't
you, babe.
too, maybe that made sense. Probably not. Maybe it was a little too in depth, but it is what
No,
it is.
you're just paying homage, and so that's awesome. What is the name again? Khadijah who?
Khadija Nasif. There's a
Khadijah
woman named
Nasi.
Halima on, whatever on, but the Sojourner's Passport is Khadija Nasif's book. Crystalline Karazhan and the Pink Pill was amazing before they bullied her off the internet.
Wow. So these
And
people were all like the four founders of the women empowerment.
yeah, divestment, Black women's empowerment. These were Kendall St. Charles. These were the
Okay.
women that started this stuff. Cynthia G at the time was with the men, supporting the men. And
Oh, really?
Doc, oh yes, she was pro-Black. She was, she changed
Wow.
her ideas over the years. She was actually against the Black women's empowerment. And she Oh, definitely. Yeah, these women not
Oh my
only changed completely, cannibalized the women that made it up, took their ideas, but like have completely done a about face and are now, I don't know, these these Black women gurus. They never believed in this stuff. They doxed these women, they bullied these women, they stalked these women, until they, now they have private uh, email chains and private Facebook
Wow.
stuff, but they ran them off of here. So, anyways,
Wow. Okay, babe. Thank you. That is interesting.
no worries. Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Wow. That is interesting, y'all. I'm just like, wow. You know what I'm saying? When you think about stuff like that, it's like you just think. I mean, how can you forget about the person that founded everything? The person that began the whole movement. But I guess with anything, there's a lot of little broken off groups. Like they said, like when we Googled, the Manosphere, it tells you about the MGTOW, and it tells you about, the other people, that are the ones that remain celibate, and then there's some that just, believe in, other types of other portions of what women empowerment originally stood for, or what, the men's empowerment stood for. That's really wild. But I mean, it's interesting because we need to know where all of this came from. Now, I just want to know, because I could have sworn that Neytiri was with one of the Yorks. Wasn't she with Dr. York? Wasn't she with that Dr. York man? Wasn't she? Mystery Man said, "Now, Sly, why volunteer that information? Don't you remember the first time you fell out with the pieces over that anti-Black ideology?" Well, let's see. Did we fall out? I don't know if we really fell out. We just kind of had a disagreement at one time. But I like Sly. I remember Sly, remember I was categorizing Sly as being MGTOW, but he said no, he wasn't. So yeah, Nina's been around. Nina's been around. She has a lot of wisdom. She slept with Prince York. Ooh, child. Okay, so Prince York is different from Dr. York. Okay. Not Amar. No, Natiri was with his son Prince. Okay, hold on. So is Dr. York? Okay, so Mystery Man, how is Prince York affiliated with Dr. York? That's his son, you're saying? It's not the son that got arrested. Was he the son that got arrested back when he was 19 that I mentioned here in 2017? I think it was. Oh, you're just being messy. Slice that up there on his live with Jace. Oh, okay, I remember. I remember so much. I couldn't stand it, but I clicked off for a while. Yeah. No, you're being right. I remember, but I still something about Slide I still like. Okay, so Neytiri was with his son Prince. That's what they're saying. So his son. So okay, so let me pull up. I have to pull up this. Hold on. Prince. Okay. 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 So Prince York is Dwight York's son. Okay. So then Dr. York would have been his grandfather. Just so that everybody knows. Do y'all get that? Dr. York is the one that's serving 135 years in prison. Okay. Then his son Dwight York, remember he was the one that got arrested for burning the 5-year-old. Uh-huh. Please watch Miss I Love from Today. Oh, please watch Olivia's Live from Today, Chore Lover. She explains the conscious sector in depth with all relevant names. Okay. I will be watching Miss Olivia after this. Okay, thank you, babes. Yes, Prince York is one that was arrested. Okay, yes. So that, okay, got it. So he was the one that got arrested, Prince York. He was the Dwight's York's son. Okay. And he did get arrested, okay? So that's where that comes from. Hold on. Prince Andrew, Duke of York. He's a third years of service. Okay, hold on. Okay, that's something else. Okay, that's Prince of York is something else, child. This is the person's just called Prince York. Okay. I'm not looking for the one of the Duchess and all that and the Duke and Queen. Child, please. Prince Andrew, child. The son of Dr. York, Prince York, speaks on YouTube on his father YouTube. Okay, so that was his. Okay, so that is his son. Got you. And that's who she was actually with. But that was the one that was arrested through all this scandal. That's who Neytiri was with. Okay. Because I was like, how are they related? Child, all these people are related. That is so weird. Child, that is so weird. So I will watch that definitely. Yes, Prince York is one. Okay, yes. Elise B said yes, he was arrested. That's why I learned the info from Dr. York today. Okay, got you, Troy Love. See, I didn't even know Olivia had did a video on that today because I was out and about. I had no clue. I just came in listening to grown folks, and I was like, "What?" And so they were talking about all this stuff, and I'm like, "Huh?" And I'm listening, and I'm like, "Nylah, I don't know what she's coming from," but I'm like, "Girl, okay, whatever. Do you?" And then I was listening to that China White, and I'm like, "Girl, ain't nobody worried about you and no men." Is that some women think they have to have a man to totally define their lives, and you do not. Are you okay? Like you don't have to. You're not gonna. It's not gonna make or break your life to have a man or not. It's ridiculous. Stop being desperate. You know. Did we run Slide off? Did we run Slide Jones off? I'm sorry, Slide. I didn't want to run him off. Child, I'm just saying, honey. What's really going on? What's really going on, child? What's really going on? I'm just wondering. Oh, okay. It's a lot going on, child. But that's so hard to have your dad in jail for 135 years. Can y'all imagine that? That is so crazy to me. I mean, I'm not saying that he didn't deserve it for all the stuff that he did, but I'm just like, that is really wild. Child, I'm just saying. And then they Terry for Now I understand why no Terry was scared. Remember, I was thinking, what is she scared for? Like somebody's really gonna come after her in Atlanta? No, yeah, they would have. Now I see it. Signetter. Okay, yeah, Signetter. That's where I learned the info from Dr. York today. Oh yeah. Signetter, I think he is, yeah, he's for polite. I don't know why, but it's disgusting. Anyone that sided with those deviants are just as guilty, Toya said. I hear you, babe. Because he touched, oh, he touched his own kid. Oh, that's disgusting, Toya. Really? That's disgusting. Disgusting, baby. That is utterly disgusting. He touched, who does that to their own? Come on now. Malachi Z and Zawabian 21. These are all the related searches. So Malachi Z, was Malachi Z related to Prince York or Dwight York? Now he is backpedaling, Tracy, about supporting Polite. Oh, Signetter is? Ugh. Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure he probably lost thousands of subscribers because nobody's dealing with that. Oh my God, Dr. York, over 200 kids. Oh. So Dr. York, oh my God. So Dr. York had touched over 200 kids. Wow, gross, including his own. That's disgusting. And the Wambian 21 child. These people, I'm telling you, I don't when you put power over these people, I think they go crazy. I really think they go crazy. They lose their minds. They think that they're above the law. And it's like, no. You know what I'm saying? No, you're not above the law. Oh, Dr. Malachi Z was a convicted cult leader as well. So they have had cults for the longest. Cults have always existed. Child, I'm just looking here on all the mugshots of Dr. Malachi Z, child. What child? The mini mugshots, child. So these were all of the predominant cult leaders back in the day. She played Sonetter's video. He couldn't even keep the lies straight. Kept telling on himself. Are you serious? Oh my God. Wow. This is a cult, Toya said. Wow. This is really interesting, y'all. Because the mind is powerful. So can you imagine all these people that we see, like the Ayas and we see all of these people, and it's like, I think, how do they get to that point? But it's real. It's just real. That's all I can say is it's real. And I'm just like, it's just, it's creepy. Very, very creepy, child. Creepy as all hell, okay? David Piper York. So grandparents. Okay. So Dwight York's son, which is Prince York, his grandparents was David Piper York and Mary C. York. Ooh, child. It's a lot going on. And the desperate. No good, strong role models and easily led. Child, yes. They prey on the weak minded. Well, that's what they all do. Exactly, Crafts. That's what they all do, Toya. Wow. And Nate said allegedly. Child. It's disgusting when the kids can't help themselves, and then you wonder why they grow up and they have all these problems. They have anxiety, they have depression, they have, tendencies to want to end their lives. They have a lot. It's because of all the F-ish that they've had to deal with. No wonder. How would anybody be stable in that? No. No. I'm not going. No. Nope. I'm not going. It's horrible and it is what it is. Anyways, y'all, we're going to have a part 2 of this. We've been on here for an hour and 48 minutes. I agree. People can't handle power. They can't. They go crazy. I'm telling you, like, you give a little bit of money to some people, like a little bit of money is what we're getting on YouTube. And you have people that are stealing our content that want to constantly, come in and just knock you off of your block for no reason. Just because they don't want to see you get ahead. It's sad. It's sad. But you have this kind of mentality, like the York mentality, okay? Like categorizing all one race as the devil. And I'm like, are you okay? Like, where do you come from? Like, those are the ones that are falling into the cult groups and falling into, the listening to ideology that's not even listed anywhere, that just thought of off of the off of the whim of just, oh, I woke up today. Or they can read into it like quantum physics and all these others and put it into perspective to mean something that they want it to mean, but it doesn't mean anything to anybody else because it's all twisted and manipulated. That's the whole thing. Good night, Tora Lover. Thank you, baby. Thank you, everybody. I enjoyed it as well, y'all. We are going to talk about this more. We'll have one, I think, well, at this time, I'm going to watch Miss Olivia's and see what she has to say about it. And then, and look more into Sinetter and his belief on polite. Because I'm like, I can't imagine anybody that is defending this man publicly. And if I know of anybody defending this man publicly, I would love to interview that person to see where their mind frame is. I would love it. It wouldn't even be a bash session, but I would love to have them on, not even interview, but just to have them on to speak on their belief. Because I understand who is agreeing to that. If you're 14, you are a child. If you are 16, you are a child. There's no grown adult in it. I don't care what your body's going through. There's no grown adult in it, period. So thank you, everybody, for being here. I wanted to have this discussion, and we did. I knew it was going to be heavy, but we need to have it. And we're going to dance right on out the house. And I'm going to be in the street seeing what's going on. But that was a good live that I listened to earlier that was on Grown Folks, but I just had to come on and discuss. I think that the feminine foodie, she was intelligent. She was talking from a good point of view. She was saying what she believes, and I believe she said that she has a son, if I'm not mistaken. So she's not totally all bashing, everyone else. And she's not all standing on, okay, well, the men, I'm standing up for the men. No, she was saying what she believes in and, and what's right. And basically she came off as being non-biased. And I did like that. However, she didn't put any of her personal feelings into it. She just basically said how she felt. So we're going to go ahead here and we're going to dance right on out the house. We're going to dance. We're going to dance. We're going to dance on out the house, y'all. We're going to dance. We're going to dance. We're going to dance on out the house, y'all. Hey, and amen. We're going to dance. We're going to dance on out the house, y'all. Ooh, come on, y'all. We're going to dance on out the house, everybody. Get ready. Hey, we're going to dance. We're going to dance on out the house, y'all. We're going to dance. We're going to dance. We're going to dance on out the house, y'all. The beef, the black sector, the beef. We merge, y'all. We merge. Hey, we are talking about the cold. Hey, what's going on in Coldfield? The coals always exist. The cult life. Hey, black, the beef sector, the black. We merge, y'all, we merge. Hey, the beef sector, the black. We merge, y'all. We merge, everybody. Everybody is what we are doing. We have merged the beef and the black sector. Doing all what we do best. Having discussions and about out there. We merge, hey. We merge, hey. We merge, everybody. We merge, doing what we do best. Hey, I'm Tracy. I'm living my truth. I'm doing what we do best. Hey, we merge. We merge, y'all. We merge.